Catherine Lewis once said, "Greed in the end fails, even the greedy." A heartiest good afternoon to one and all present here. Today, we, the group number 4, is going to present our views on the corporate accounting scandal at Satyam Computers. This scam is also referred to as India's Enron. Now, I would like to call Jayant on the e-dice to continue with his presentation.
Thank you, Palak. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I'll be presenting some few slides on background, emergence, and a bit of timeline. So, Satyam Computer Services Limited was founded in 1987 in Hyderabad, India, by Ramalinga Raju. Raju served as a chairman while his brother P. Rama Raju served as a managing director and chief executive officer. Satyam has been a pioneering force in the global information technology outsourcing market. The company preferred the term right sourcing since the late 1980s. The company provided a full range of IT services, including software and system management and development, in engineering solution, infrastructure management, and enterprise business solutions. Ramalinga Raju has encountered computer in United States during his studies by the mid 1980s and had recognized that the growing computer industry and the rapid incorporation in computer technology into the corporate market would great demand for a type of specialized services. This led Raju joined by his brother B. Ramaraju to establish Satyam Computer Services Limited in 1987, deriving the company's name from their father's name. Slide change, please. Then Satyam specialized in outsourcing IT and business process services to effectively compete with other with against the domestic and global competitors. The company embarked on a variety of multi-pronged business strategies. What began as a small company with just 20 employees quickly quickly grew to become the India's top most IT companies and focused on the enterprising segment. It had revenue of over $2 billion, employing 53 IT professionals across the world and extensive client list, including 185 Fortune 500 companies. The company was listed in the stock exchanges around the world, including New York Stock Exchange, Bombay Stock Exchange. Between 2003 and 2008, Satyam generated 467 million in total sale, with share price improving 300% in 5-year period. The company demonstrated an annual compound growth rate of 35% over that period. Operating profits of 21% and earning per share similarly grew from $0.12 to $0.62 at annual growth rate of 40%. Satyam successes led to the number of awards for the company as well as for the founder. In 2007, Owens and Young named Raju as Entrepreneur of the Year. Then on 14th April 2008, Satyam won awards for MZ Consult for being a leader in India's in CG and accountability. Then in September 2008, the World Council of Corporate Governance awarded Satyam with Golden Peacock Award for global excellence in corporate accountability. Then, unfortunately, in less than 5 months after winning the Global Peacock Award, Satyam became the centerpiece of the massive accounting fraud dubbed as India's Enron. Next slide, please. Then, in this slide, we can see the timeline of Satyam Computers from its commencement in 1987 in Hyderabad till the point where the scandal started. Satyam debuted in BSE with an IPO oversubscribed 17 times. It got listed in the New York Stock Exchange in 2001 and also crossed a revenue of $1 billion. And within 7 years, the revenue was just doubled. It was $2 billion. A month after a failed attempt to acquire Mehta's infrastructure and Mehta's properties in December 2008, Raju confessed to manipulating the company's accounting numbers for many years. The fraud was estimated as $1.47 billion, making a collapse of Satyam as India's Enron. The company was the subject that was called India's biggest corporate scandal in January 2009 when the chairman Ramalinga Raju resigned as a chairman of SCSL after revealing that he has systematically falsified the accounts as company expanded and for a handful of accounts as the handful of employees and the back office end of around 53,000 employees and operation in 66 countries. Raju putting out a confessional statement admitting fraud that was roughly 1.5 billion US dollars, equivalent to 70 million Indian rupees of the firm was non-existent. Government of India and corporate sector and its people were stunned after the founder chairman of one of the India's biggest information technology services company admitted the years of falsified profit and audacious financial fraud of worth rupees 1.47 billion dollars. What shocked analysts was that the money now supposed to be fictitious has been recorded in the books of accounts that was audited by the internationally reputed firm called PricewaterhouseCoopers. Raju, who was politically influential, disclosed details of the fraud in the resignation letter of the company's board of director and to the stock exchange authority as well as to the SEBI. After revelation by Raju, he and his brother were arrested and various charges were filed against them. The Indian government stepped into the outsourcing scandal and installed three new people in the board in a bid to slavage the firm. The company was leading star and recognizable and had a recognizable name in global IT marketplace, which changed after the expose of this falsification. This was all my part. Now my fellow presenter will presenting more information about the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayant. Now I would like to continue with the overview of this scam. On 7th January 2009, when the news came in the market of Satyam scandal, the member of Satyam, Mr. Ramlinga Raju, confesses about manipulating the financial statements of the company. The revenue made by the company was overstated. He confessed that he had been manipulating the account since 1999, and he revealed that he had created 6,000 fake salary accounts and he used the money after the company deposited it. The company head of internal audit created fake customer identities to create fake invoices and increase revenue. The account have attained a position where they were unmanageable. The actual cash balance as shown in the figure was 321 crores, which was reported as 5,361 crores, which showed a difference of rupees 5040 crore. The accrued interest on bank fixed deposit was nil, but it was shown as 376.5 crores. He understated a liability of 1230 crores, which he has arranged by himself. And he overstated the debtors by 490 crores. This all inflated the balance sheet of the company. In financial year 2009, in quarter 2, he he earned a revenue of rupees 2,112 crores, but he presented it as 2,700 crores, and he earned a operating profit of 3%, that is 61 crores, but he showed it as 24%, which was 649 crores. He tried to make every attempt to eliminate the gap, but he failed. The last attempt to fill the gap was acquisition of Mehta's. Mehta's is his own son-owned companies, and he, with the board members, without the consent of the shareholders, planned to acquire 51% of the shares in Mehta Infrastructure and 100% stakes in Mehta Properties. In both the companies, Mr. Raju was already having his shares, which were 37 and 35% respectively. However, this decision of acquisition was reversed 12 hours after the 12 hours after 12 hours after, as the investors had started selling their shares and threatened actions against the management. This acquisition would have helped him to convert fictitious assets to real assets. He planned to use this 5040 crores non-existent cash to acquire the two Mehta companies as the part of tunneling strategy. Promoters have subsequently reduced their holdings from 25% to 2.18%. This reduction in this reduction in equity was a great concern for him, as it shows the poor position of the company and could have revealed the gap between the financial uh, could have revealed the gap. He said he mentioned that it was like riding a tiger, not knowing how to get out, get off without being eaten. This fraud took place to divert the company's funds into real estate investments, keep high earning per share, raise executive compensation, and make huge profits by selling stake at the inflated prices. The reason why Ramalinga Raju claims that he did it because every year he was fudging the expenses, and every year he was fudging the revenues of the companies, and it was not easy to fudge the expenses of the company, which created a huge gap between the real profit, and the book profit. Uh, that is all from my side. Now, Vanendra will continue with the auditor's role.
So thank you, Palak. I would like to tell about auditors' role and factors contributing to fraud. But before it, I would like to move towards PwC. Here, investment bank DSP Merrill Lynch, which was appointed by Satyam to look for a partner or buyer for the company, ultimately blew the whistle and terminated its engagement with the company soon after it found it a financial irregularities. Here, PwC was the statutory auditors of Satyam Computer Services when the report of scandal in the account book of Satyam.
Manendra,
Yeah,
go
ma'am.
little slow. Go
Okay, ma'am.
little slow. You're speaking very fast.
Uh, okay, ma'am. PwC was the statutory auditors of the Satyam Computer Services when the report of scandal in the account books of Satyam Computer Services broke. The Indian arms PwC was fined 6 million by SEC, US Security Exchange and Commission, for not following the code of conduct and auditing standards in the performance of its duty related to the auditing accounts of Satyam Computer Services. Here, PwC audited the company for nearly 9 years and did not uncover the fraud, whereas the Merrill Lynch discovered the fraud as a part of its due diligence in merely 10 days. So let's come to the auditor failure role of auditor. Next slide, please. So here, auditor is known as the representative of shareholders, but in case auditors make fraud with the shareholders. According to the case, one particularly troubling items concerned the 1.404 billion dollars that Satyam claimed to have on its balance sheets in non-interest bearing deposits. Here, account to the accounting professions. Any reasonable company would have either invested the money into the interest bearing account or return the excess cash to the shareholder. So the large amount of cash thus should be have been a red flag for the auditors that further verification and testing was necessary. After that, missing these red flags implied either that the auditors were grossly inept or collusion with the company in the committing the fraud. Here, some of the auditors' role are the auditors did not do beginning to end transaction verification. All the transaction from starting to end are not verified by the auditors by the help of fake sales and showed that the profit came to the fake sales are kept in the bank. Second is cash and bank balances were not verified. Here, total cost and profit gaining were not properly verified by the auditors. Here, in case profit, if taking an example that if profit were 60 crore, they shows that profit almost about 600 crore in order to increase their shares in the market so that the more investors can attract towards the company. Fake invoices were ignored in order to fill the difference between financial figures. Raju created fake sales invoices. He created 7,500 approx fake sales invoices, and these invoices were ignored by the auditor of that firm. The matter was not reported to the audit committee. Here, the whole matter, including the accounting sheets, were not reported to the audit committee by promoters whenever the Satyam needed more income to meet the analyst estimate. It simply created a fictitious sources, and it did so much numerous time without auditors ever discovering the fraud. And last is auditing plans were prepared on the basis of approval of promoters. Here, all the plans and content were prepared on the basis of approval of promoters of that firm. they didn't want to disclose the inflated and actual value gaps. So here are some factors contributing to the fraud. The independent board members of Satyam, the SABI auditors, including professional investors, with the detailed information and models available to them. So some of the factors contributing to the frauds are greed of Ramalinga Raju by moving towards the investment of real estate, ambitious corporate growth, a weak development directors and audit committee, and deceptive reporting practices. Here the Satyam fraud went to the number of years involving both
मनेंद्र
manipulation.
मनेंद्र
Yes,
कहाँ
ma'am.
है ये जो तुम बोल रहे हो, ये सब स्लाइड में कहाँ है?
मैम ये उसमें ऑडिटिंग में लिखा हुआ है मैम,
कहाँ?
लास्ट
यहाँ
में।
पे तो कहीं नहीं दिख रहा है।
मैम वो मैंने शो नहीं करा बिकॉज वो बहुत ज्यादा मैटर हो जाता है, उसको एक्सप्लेनेशन में डाला था मैम मैंने।
ओके, कैरी ऑन।
Here, the Satyam fraud went for the number of years involving both the manipulation of balance sheets and income statements. They are repeatedly showing the fake reports and according to their advice of promoter. So that's all from my side. Now Sanjana will continue the rest ones.
Thank you, Manendra. So I would like to continue with the investigation, civil charges, criminals and victims. So CBI, which was investigating the fraud at Satyam Rajasthan case on 7 January 2009 to overstating the software of outsourcer accounting by at least rupees 7,136 crore. The same accused involved with Satyam's former chairman B. Ramalinga Raju, his brother and Satyam's former managing director Rama Raju, former chief financial officer Badlamini Srinivas, two prize Waterhouse auditors A. Gopal Krishnan and Padmini Srinivas, Ramalinga Raju, another brother Sur Narayan Raju, company's vice president finance G. Ramakrishna, senior managing finance D. Venkatapati Raju, finance manager C. Sri Salim, and head of the company's internal auditor V. S. Prabhakar Gupta. The CBI Station Court in Hyderabad had found former Satyam chairman Mr. Ramalinga Raju and 9 others were found guilty of corporate fraud. Indian authorities arrested all 10 accused in the case had been found guilty in a scam that had been dubbed as one of the biggest financial scams in the country's corporate sector. All the accused had been sentenced to 7 years of rigorous imprisonment on Thursday, and the station court had imposed a fine of rupees 5.5 crore each on Raju and his brother Rama Raju as managing director, and about rupees 50 lakh each on their siblings to Nayan Raju and 7 others. Please change the slide. Please take the slide. Palak. Ramalinga
I have
Raju
seen
and
this
his
slide,
brother,
Sanjana.
Satyam former managing director, Satyam former managing director B. Ramaraju were also found guilty under Section 409 of IT. Okay. Yeah, it is visible. Ramalinga Raju and his brother, Satyam's former managing director B. Ramaraju were also had found guilty under Section 409 of IPC section relating to criminal breach of trust. Ramalinga Raju had also been found guilty under Section 201 IPC destruction of evidence. 8 others were declared guilty of under IPC section 120B criminal conspiracy in the country's biggest accounting fraud. Also, all the 8 accused were found guilty under IPC section 467 forgery of security, 468 forgery for purpose of cheating, and 477A falsification of accounts, 420 cheating, 477A using using age genuine or forged document which is known to be forged. According to V. Chandrasekhar, Superintendent of Police, CBI Hyderabad Zone. Please change the slide. And now we will going to talk about the victims. Please change the slide. Okay, it is visible. First one is Indian government. Indian government was worried about its image of the nation and IT sector affecting states to invest or to do business in the country violation of rules and framework set up for working in the market and fraudulent actions taken by the company, tax evasion by falsely showing tax paid in foreign countries and hence getting concession for the government. And second one is employees. Whenever collapse of any organization reputation has a direct impact on the employee's job. As per the case employees, employees of Satyam spent anxious nights. Employees were shown with the inflated figures. They faced projects of cancellation, layoff, equally bleak prospects of outside employment opportunities. They were extended in many ways, morally, financially, legally, and socially. And bankers, recovery of financial and non-financial exposure,
Sanjana,
and record facilities.
Sanjana,
Clients of Satyam express loss of trust and reviewed their contract,
Sanjana, please
with
stop.
other competitors. Several global
Sadhna,
global clients like Cisco, Tesla, and World Bank.
Clients of Satyam express loss of trust and review their contract, preferring to go with other competitors. Several global clients like Cisco, Tesla, and World Bank cancelled their contract with the Satyam customer were shocked and worried about the project continuity, confidentially, and cost overrun. Stakeholders had lost their valuable investment, and there were doubt about revival of India as a preferred investment destination. That's from my side. Um, that Next slide, we continue with Apurva. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sanjana. I would like to explain aftermath of Satyam scandal. My first point is losses to Satyam after scandal. Just after the news of fraud, Merrill Lynch terminated its engagement with Satyam, and after that, Satyam's coverage was suspended. Um, PricewaterhouseCoopers came under critical observation and its license is also cancelled. Whatever awards won by Satyam is also stripped from the company. My second point is changes in share prices after scandal. Satyam's shares saw a fall off in the price in year 2009 after the scandal, from the highest of price of 544 rupees in 2008. It came to 11.50 rupees in 2009. Many of the investors lost billions because of Satyam. There are 100 companies whose share fall between 5 to 15%, and Sensex fell more than 5%, and Satyam fell more than 70%. Criminal charges on Satyam after scandal is revealed. Mr. Raju faced many criminal charges like criminal conspiracy, breach of trust, and forgery. My fourth point is the chart titled is Fall from Grace, which depicts the Satyam's stock decline between December 2008 and 2000 and January 2009. As we see in the graph, stock charting, as we see in the stock charting of Satyam, how Satyam's stock price fall after scandal from 226.55 to 39.95. My fifth point is appointing new board to prevent the total collapse. Immediately after a scandal, the new board of members are appointed whose goal was to sell the company within 100 days. My last point is role of SEBI and Tech Mahindra. The Security and Exchange Board of Ma- uh, Exchange Board of India organized auction and several companies bid on Satyam on April 13, 2009, and Tech Mahindra bought Satyam for $1.13 per share, less than third of its stock market price before Raju revealed the fraud. Now I would like to call Diksha to continue.
Thank you, Apurva. Now I will tell you the conclusion of this case study. So, most scandals like Satyam can be avoided by taking some steps. The first one is SEBI plays an active role, internal audits, issues in corporate governance, internal management system, and rectification. Now I'm giving a brief on all of this topic. The first one is SEBI plays an active role. The SEBI stands for Security and Exchange Board of India. So after the were taking relevation of this biggest corporate fraud, SEBI kept target for itself to sell of the company. SEBI met with government appointed board of directors, accountants, bankers, government officers, and lawyers in order to come up with a plan immediately. All of them worked superbly and brought back company stability within 100 days deadline. SEBI has grayed up and pulled up its socks after the scam and had enhanced its working. Ultimately, after all of these efforts and hard work through a global competitive bidding process, Tech Mahindra bought Satyam Computer Services. Now the second one is internal audit. The audit did not do beginning to end transaction verification. Cash and bank balance were not verified. Fake invoices were ignored. The matter was not reported to audit committee. Now the third one is issues in corporate governance. Corporate governance, social responsibilities, and business ethics, lack of mutual decision and sense of responsibilities has turned out the business ethics that is a part of corporate governance. Board's responsibility for risk management and internal control. If the board does not arrange the regular meeting to consider the organizational activities symmetrically, then it resultant in poor system that may unable to report and measure the risk. Now, the fourth one is the internal management system. All all board of directors and by hiring authorized were not either aware about the situation or they neglected it because of their carelessness. Instead, they completely ignored the scam which was going on since so many years. And the fifth one is racketing. Irrespectively of 9% stock, a man could do a scam. A complete failure of corporate governance. To avoid this, a company need to strictly follow a proper system of corporate governance and rotating the auditors for every couple of years. Now the overall conclusion is Satya means truth, but the company did not show any sign of truth and honesty. They broke the trust of shareholders and the employees of the company. This fraud was purely due to the greed of the owner of the company. At the end, I would like to thank everyone for listening our presentation and also patiently. That's all from my side. Thank you.